Hi, my name is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my top drugstore eyeshadow palettes. So please like and subscribe and let's get started. So today I don't have a ton of eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore. I feel like the drugstore is really lacking on the eyeshadow palettes except for one particular company. It does always push out the eyeshadow palettes and I will be talking about them. But the first palette I'm going to go over is this e.l.f. eyeshadow palette called Keep It Ethereal. This is a beautiful palette. I did do a video on it on my YouTube and I did a swatch on my Instagram, Lindsay and Makeup. But they did a great job on this palette and the shadows are really beautiful. They do take a little bit to build up, which I'm totally fine with that. But the palette is a great, neutral, everyday, go-to, easy eyeshadow palette. And these shimmers are beautiful also. They did a great job on that. But this is a great palette for just to keep on the ready if you're in a quick get ready in the morning. Or if you're traveling, this is a great palette. Give you a wide range. And if it does break while you're on your trip, it's only $10 and you can just kind of repurchase this and get a new one. But I love it. I did purchase another one in a different color palette. So I'm going to be trying that out in a future video. And I'm really excited about that one. It's nice and bright, ready for spring and summer. So my next palette is this one. This LA Girl eyeshadow palette they came out with this holiday, 2024 holiday. This packaging is amazing. This packaging, I mean, it's e.l.f. It's a cheaper palette. I think this was $10 and I think this one was like $15 and this is really good packaging. And it has a nice mirror on the inside. But the palette in here, as you can tell, I do love my neutrals. It's a beautiful palette. I can get a nice neutral color. I can get a cool tone in there. But I love this so much. I actually bought it for two of my best friends for Christmas. So once I tried it, I fell in love and I literally immediately went back to Ulta and purchased two more to send to them for Christmas. But this is also a great travel palette. It has everything you need and these shades are beautiful. They do take just a little bit more to build up. They build up faster than the e.l.f. one, but I love this palette. It's a great palette. It has a great mirror and it's nice and sturdy. I mean, and it's really pretty packaging. I think they did a great job on this. Now, a couple years ago, they did have another holiday palette from LA Girl, and they don't have this anymore. I think they still have this on the Ulta website, but this one was a couple years ago, and they also did a really good job on this one. It's a nice pink palette with some mauves. It's got darker tones, but LA Girl does a great job. I know they came out with one in the summer, and it was more neutrally, and I kind of didn't get it, and then I kind of wish I did, but it's fine. I got enough eyeshadow palettes. But LA Girl does a great job with their palettes. I don't have any of the little smaller palettes, but if they're anything like these last two palettes in their quality, I think they're a great eyeshadow palette to go out and get and just have in your collection. Now, the next couple is all from the same brand. And they kind of dominate the drugstore eyeshadow palette category. And you probably know what it is. It is Colourpop. Colourpop does a great job. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of their palettes are a hit. Some are a miss. Some of them they could go back and do a little bit more with. But it's fine. I mean, when I find the ones that I really like, I hold on to them. I have some Colourpop eyeshadow palettes that are, yes, they are old, but Colourpop discontinued it and I think they should bring them back. Like how MAC brought back all the lipsticks everybody loved, the iconic lipsticks that they came back with. I think Colourpop should do the same with their certain palettes. Now, before I get to the palettes that I know still exist, I'll show you quickly those other palettes. So one of them's here right on my desk. So Jaded. This was a great palette. I would love them to bring this back. I love this palette so much. I'm almost scared to use it because I don't want to hit pan. I mean, do I really think I'm going to hit pan on that? Probably not. Then the other palette I have is down in my drawer. I should have taken these out. But the other one I have is, I hear this talked about a lot. People wish Colourpop would bring this back. It's a good sport palette. This is a great palette. Look at those colors. I mean, they don't have anything like this anymore. They just did such a good job. I am holding on to this palette. I still use it. I mean, it's so beautiful, and I will never get rid of it unless I pan them all. Then I'll get rid of it, but I'm not getting rid of this anytime soon in the foreseeable future. It's just that good. Another one is kind of when they kind of brought Colourpop on, like, God, I think this was before the pandemic, but it was the Sweet Talk palette. And this palette they did also a great job with. I really wish they would bring these back. I did double check. This is gone, and they don't have it on their site anymore. This one's been gone, but, you know, I wish they would bring some of those palettes back because they are beautiful. But the palettes I do have that they do still have on their site, I double checked. One of them is the Off Melrose palette. Another neutral palette, I know, but this does have some beautiful warmth, some cooler pinks, and I'm not a huge fan of the glitter eyeshadows, but some of their glitter eyeshadows in some palettes are a little chunkier than others. I know in the So Jaded palette, there's a couple of them that are pretty chunky. These are a little smoother, but this is such a great palette. And then they have this beautiful like duochrome shadow. I love this palette. I picked it up only like a couple months ago, probably like in, oh man, almost a year ago. God, where's the time gone? But I did pick this up and I love it, and it's still available, and I think it's a great palette to add to your collection. Also really versatile. Now another one is one of their big mega palettes, and don't judge me, this is dirty because I use it. But it's the Bare Necessities palette. I remember when this came out, I think this was one of the first like mega palettes they came out with. But the Bare Necessities palette is a great, beautiful palette. It has everything you need. Everything you need. We got cool tones, and we have warm tones, and we have great neutrals. And I love how it's kind of like all in rose. This is kind of like a nice warm tone look, a deeper neutral look, a pinky or mauve look. So I love that they kind of laid it out that way. But this is a great palette. If, you know, this is kind of almost all you need for a neutral. And I think they did a great job, and don't judge my packaging because it is really dirty because I actually use it. Now the last two that I really recommend from Colourpop, it is also a neutral palette. I know. And I love neutrals because I find I can do so much. I like to get neutral palettes, and then I like to get like pops of color, like Super Shock, you know, little Super Shock shadows that bring my pops of color in, or a shadow stick or eyeliner. That's just what I prefer. Now I do have a lot of like colorful palettes, but they're not intensely colorful, or they're on the high end, or they don't make them anymore, unfortunately. But the last two I have to talk about, and I did depot them, and I put them in a Z palette. So, and I kind of made sure they were separated. So my last one is the Going Coconuts, and That's So Taupe. So this is the That's So Taupe, and this one's Going Coconuts. This is a great two little palettes they came out with. I think they did an amazing job. I remember when Going Coconuts came out, and I wanted it so bad, but it like all of a sudden just like sold out. You couldn't get your hands on it, and then That's So Taupe sold out. And this was years ago. I think my son was just a baby, so it had to have been 7 years ago. But I remember wanting these, and they flew off, so I did, of course, finally get my hands on them, but they did a great job. These formulas are beautiful, easy, go-to. I know a lot of my palettes are more of a neutral palettes, but that's what I love. And I feel like I do so much with neutrals and just add the pops in later with, you know, blue mascara, or I said the other like single shadows or color, or like a eyeshadow pencil to bring in the color. But I think these eyeshadow palettes are beautiful and I do highly recommend them. I am going to try to branch out a little bit more. If the drugstore does kind of start releasing more colorful palettes and branch out a little more and pick some up every now and then, I don't want to go crazy with eyeshadow palettes in my collection. I do have a pretty good size eyeshadow collection, but you know, I want to keep it respectable as much as I can. But if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions of other eyeshadow palettes, drugstore, you know, pricing, let me know. Oh man, I totally forgot about one eyeshadow palette. Oh no, how could I do this? Where are you? How did I forget? I just did something on this. I just did it. Juvia's Place. Beautiful eyeshadow palettes. Great price range. How did I forget? I don't know why they just popped in my head. They do amazing eyeshadow palettes, nicely, beautiful colored, and they also, they'll run on sale every now and then. But Juvia's Place, this is the only one I have. I am pretty selective, like I said, with eyeshadow palettes, but they do amazing colors. The pigment is beautiful, and I really highly recommend Juvia's Place. But yeah, sorry about that, Juvia's Place. God, how did I forget about you? I always try to like think of Ulta high end on one side, low end on the other side. I guess to me this doesn't feel like drugstore low end. To me it's like right in the middle, so I guess that's why I forgot. But this is definitely not drugstore quality. This is amazing quality for a really good price. But thank you so much for coming and visiting my channel. But I hope you have a beautiful day. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you soon. Bye.